RMJ movie reviews, and I'm back. This is we're coming to a close here, but I'm coming with the 1992 underrated classic from Eddie Murphy, Boomerang. Directed by Reginald Hudlin, starring Robin Givens, Holly Berry, Martin Lawrence, David Alan Grier, Grace Jones, Eartha Kitt. Chris Rock makes an appearance. Tisha Campbell makes an appearance. Man, this is just a slew of black talent in this thing of every level. It's fantastic. Oh man, Boomerang. Boomerang is definitely this came around the time when Eddie Murphy's career was definitely in a slump. Which the slump came after Coming to America, which that was the pinnacle, and Harlem Nights and Another 48 Hours. Although I don't think there's anything wrong with those movies, regardless of what I said in my Harlem Nights review from I think like 2 or 3 years ago. It's on my channel. Check it out. But regardless of kind of what I said in that review, where I kind of said maybe Harlem Nights would have been better if there was a different director. Eddie Murphy's career, just regardless of those, they were okay films. It really just took a hit. And I believe, if memory serves me right, Boomerang, I think, actually came after Another 48 Hours. Don't nobody quote me. I could be wrong. But if memory serves me right, I got to look on IMDb. But, and then kind of there was, after Boomerang, he kind of got nailed with two big ones, which was The Distinguished Gentleman, and then Beverly Hills Cop 3. Which Beverly Hills Cop 3 just killed Eddie Murphy for about a couple years. But I thought when Eddie Murphy was in his slump, which was those two films and this one that I just... although this film still was a hit. This film still made, I think, like $70 million. It still made a lot of money, but this is the movie business we're talking about, and it's Eddie Murphy, so everybody wanted him to hit, those Coming to America, Beverly Hills Cop 2 numbers, 100 million, 200 million, But this still made a lot of money. It was definitely a hit with black audiences. Mainstream audiences, I don't know if they particularly liked it as much as, those two movies I named, but I still think that Eddie Murphy makes a very strong comedic and dramatic performance in this film. And I just think this is a very good movie. And I can really appreciate this movie a lot more now as an adult, as when this film was released in summer of 1992, I was 11. Matter of fact, this was like a couple months before me and my mother moved out of our old house. So I got a lot of good memories. But I saw this film theatrically. I think me and my cousin, I think we snuck... No, we didn't sneak into it. I think my aunt bought the tickets for us, and we went to go see this at Cedar Center Movie Theater back in a suburb of Cleveland. And the movie that was actually playing next door was Patriot Games with Harrison Ford. So this is going old school, y'all. But I always liked it. Even though I was a young kid, and this movie was like way above my maturity level at the time, we were all big Eddie Murphy fans, and I really enjoyed the movie. It was a packed house. Everybody was laughing. And, the reason I can appreciate this movie so much more is, number one, I'm 34 years old. I'm a grown adult now. And just looking at the various relationship issues, and that's really what this movie is. It's kind of about the complexities of relationships between men and women and how we interact, and, what is a fulfilling relationship, which... that aspect of the movie, really, I can understand it now because I'm an adult, versus a kid who was just laughing because all these great comedians were in this film together. But I know for a while there, Eddie Murphy was really trying to... I definitely say around after he did Nutty Professor, as he got closer to his 40s, he was really trying to branch out and be mature and all of that kind of stuff. But I think people... he did Metro, which... Metro's an okay movie. It's really Michael Wincott that kind of really makes that movie as good as it is. But, he tried that stern, serious action role with Metro and, to be dramatic, and it, wasn't really quite the right vehicle for him. And then he kind of tried some other things where he wanted to be stern and serious. And I think, there's certain performances, actors like Robert De Niro who can do it all, and then there's some actors who the audience just will not accept them any other light but what they are. So sometimes actors or entertainers or whatever are kind of stuck in that jam where they kind of have to give the audience what they expect of them, but also kind of branch it out and do something different with it. And I think that's where Boomerang succeeds. Is it succeeds in the fact that Eddie Murphy was able to give a genuinely dramatic performance, which this film is not noted for how mature his performance is and how dramatic Eddie Murphy actually is in this film, but he gives us the same old Eddie Murphy. He's not as raunchy as Raw or The Golden Child or Beverly Hills Cop 2 or 48 Hours 1 and 2, but he still gives us, because I mean, if you look at another 48 Hours and Harlem Nights, and then you compare his performance here, he just grew so much in this film, and I really think Boomerang is not given a lot of credit for it. Various political reasons why I think that is, but I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm just gonna talk positive here. But Eddie Murphy gives a very dramatic performance in this film, and I really think I don't even know if Eddie has even mentioned it. I haven't seen Eddie talk about Boomerang probably in years since around the time the film came out, but Eddie is very strong in this movie, and I love how Boomerang is basically the story of a playboy, Marcus, who works in marketing in New York City. He's used to being a player, banging girls out, and he drops them for superficial reasons like them not having good feet and all that kind of stuff. And then he meets his new boss, and she blows his socks off. The man falls in love. He gets whipped, as indicated by one scene that we all remember. And as a matter of fact, digressing, in rewatching the film now, I've never actually caught in that scene where Marcus and Jacqueline, played by Robin Givens, when they're making love, I didn't even catch the fact that Robin Givens is on top of Eddie Murphy saying, "Whose is it? Whose is it?" And Eddie Murphy is saying, "It's Jacqueline's, it's Jacqueline's." And she's saying, "Who?" And he was like, "Yours." I'm like, wow. I've seen this movie, I don't know, 50-something times over the 20 plus years this movie has been out, and I never caught that. Wow. If there's any word for whipped, that scene exemplifies what happens when a man is truly P-U-S-S-Y whipped. Hey, like R. Kelly and Jay-Z said, that is the power of the P-U-S-S-Y right there. Wow. I never caught that. It's really good to catch that now. But basically, Jacqueline meets Marcus, and, he gets subjected to the same kind of treatment that he did to these loads of women that he just would sleep with and dump and have no interest in, And also too, to mention the very good performances, and also I want to recommend too, if people were into commentaries, listen to the commentary by Reginald Hudlin. He really talks about like how Martin Lawrence is in this too. How can I not mention Martin? But what I love too is that Eddie is surrounded by good dramatic black actors from stage and singing, and good comedians. His best boys are Martin Lawrence and David Allen Greer, two dynamite black talents. And the scenes between Martin and Eddie and David Allen Greer is just classic stuff. Just the stuff that they talk about is really what guys talk about when you're with your boys and you're talking about, hey, I met this chick, or you're talking with your boy on the phone. It's so adult in what men talk about in their relationships with women. And also, I like on the flip side, you got Halle Berry who's in it too. And this, honestly, in my personal opinion, we talk about Monsters Ball, and I'll be the first to raise my hand and say I do not like Monsters Ball. I hate that movie. I hated it when it came out. I don't like it at all. As far as Halle Berry winning an Academy Award for that film, that just troubles me because, and I'm gonna make my point because, in my personal opinion, I think this performance in Boomerang is honestly Halle Berry's best work, and I'm saying all the way from now to then. I really think this is one of Halle Berry's strongest performances in her career, and that's my personal opinion. This movie will never get noticed for that, especially not on some stinking stupid awards show that would nominate Monsters Ball for a great performance. Ugh. But I really think Halle Berry is very, very grounded here. She's very tender. She's very warm. She gives a very honest, dramatic, relaxed, strong performance. And I really would appreciate if Halle Berry would get recognized for her work in this movie. I think it's a very fantastic performance in this film. And I like her character is very layered. I like. Matter of fact, I wish I could meet a girl like Halle Berry's character in this movie. I think all men wish we could. We definitely don't want to meet a woman like Jacqueline, which that's the part of the movie that rings very understandable to me now. Is that you see that in relationships, whether you be a man or whether you be a woman, there are some people who are just cold and selfish, and that is exactly what Jacqueline is. She's cold and she's selfish. She, in terms of attachments and relationships, she has absolutely no humanity at all. She is solely focused on herself, getting hers. You know what I mean? And she uses Eddie just like he uses the other women. She'll come over, seduce him, take her clothes off, bang it out, and she leaves the next morning. She get hers and she moves on. There's a lot of people that are like that. It ain't just guys. There's a lot of women like that too. Nasty, cold, selfish. And Robin Givens is actually very fantastic in this role. I never thought Robin Givens was a bad actress. I mean, I remember in the days when she was Mike Tyson, and yes, I did see that interview with her. And I still remember to this day that me, my brother, and his boys, we were watching that interview with her and Mike Tyson and not Diane Sora, Barbara. I can't remember her last name, but Barbara from The View. When she was like, Michael, it's just he gets so angry, and Mike sat there and didn't say a word. And I still remember digressing. I still remember to this day. My brother and his friends was like, man, Mike looking like he just want to slap her. And when we saw the Oprah interview from a couple years ago, that's what Mike said he wanted to do. It was a trip seeing that digressing. If there's anybody who's too young, look that interview up on YouTube and watch it. It's a trip. You should have seen it when it was happening. Back to Boomerang. Robin Givens is fantastic. And Reginald Hudlin said in the commentary that is the reason he cast her, was because Robin Givens was a villain, because of Mike Tyson, and he said that he felt she would be basically he was playing up Robin Givens' persona, and Robin Givens gave a fantastic performance. She is a seductress, a selfish person with no humanity for relationships, business oriented, and that's what sex is to her. It's just something to get hers and poof, be on about your day. Very fantastic performance. Johnny Weatherspoon pops up in here from House Party. It's just, you just get so much talent in this picture. And Eartha Kitt gives a really funny performance. And least I not forget, Miss Grace Jones from Conan the Destroyer. Oh my God. Her and Eartha Kitt give very eccentric, I think is the word, performances. Man, when Grace Jones takes her pantyhose off and puts it under the man's nose and goes, woo-hoo! Oh, God, we died. That is so fun. And then when she throws her blonde hair in Eddie Murphy's face, and Eddie Murphy goes, and popping him in the eye. Oh, my God. And Jeffrey, I think his last name is Holder. He was the bad guy from Live and Let Die who attacked Roger Moore. He's in this movie, and he's kind of like this kind of perverted guy who directs the commercials for this marketing company. Oh, funny, fantastic performance. I mean, there's just so much talent in this movie. Also, the other guy, too, from House Party, No, My Brother, You've Got to Buy Your Own. He kind of pops up in the background. He's the guy from the Five Heartbeats who took Eddie Kane's place. He pops up in the movie. Oh, man. This is a hysterical movie. And it's got that right balance of comedy and romance and a little bit of ghetto-ness in there. And I love that balance. And I love the fact that they're professionals. You know, they're professional working black folk. And they're not just black folks. They're just regular professionals, you know. And I think, in my personal opinion, digressing to the negative side of life, I kind of believe that's why this movie wasn't as well received, in my personal opinion. Could be true, could be not true. But getting away from that, Boomerang is a fantastic piece of work. If there's any place the movie I kind of feel falters a little bit, I'm sorry, Lilo Rashada's in the movie too, looking extra fine. Kind of, and we've all seen the movie, but once the romance between Eddie Murphy and Halle Berry, I kind of didn't really, to me, in my opinion, I felt that aspect of the film was kind of weak and a little bit forced. That's just my opinion. I felt Eddie Murphy and Halle Berry had chemistry, but I just couldn't see their characters getting together. I just couldn't see it. You know, I kind of felt like Robin Givens and Eddie Murphy had way better chemistry, because the dynamic between Eddie Murphy and Robin Givens in this thing is like nuts. And apparently they dated in real life, so go figure. But Boomerang's an absolute classic. It deals with very real trials and tribulations between men and women in relationship. It's a very real film, and like I said, I like the fact that it's comedic, but it's dramatic. And it deals with this stuff. It's very mature. Of course, it gets juvenile with the Grace Jones stuff, but you know, Grace was there to play up her eccentric personality, and she did it well. You know what I mean? Great performance. I mean, it's just great across the board. So, Boomerang. Underrated, underappreciated early Eddie Murphy vehicle. I think if Eddie Murphy wants to get back to dramatic acting, I think he needs to stay kind of within this range, because he was playing the romantic thing here, and I thought Eddie was very good in this movie. Very, very good. That's my review of Boomerang. Thumbs up the video. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video, and comment down below about Boomerang from 1992. Some comments about Robin Givens, Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry, Martin Lawrence, David Alan Grier, Grace Jones, Eartha Kitt, Chris Rock, Tisha Campbell. I mean, let's just talk about Boomerang. Anything I might have missed, you know, because there's a lot of wonderful stuff, but sometimes my mind gets to racing. So leave some comments down below. Coming back with my review of Dead Presidents from 1995, starring Lorenz Tate and Chris Tucker, directed by the Hughes brothers. And then after that, it's going to be a surprise Black History Month movie review, and that's going to wrap it up, and then I'm just going to go back to doing regular old movie reviews. RMJ Movie Reviews, folks. I'll see you soon.